We're going to begin tonight with breaking news.
The search is on for a pair of suspects who robbed a man at gunpoint.
Early morning shooting that left 3 people dead.
New details this morning on a pair of stabbing attacks.
8 gang members brutally beat, tortured, and killed a man.
A 15-year-old boy shot and killed.
The grim discovery in the desperate search for a missing 5-year-old boy.
5 kids have taken their own lives, all related to bullying.
At least 17 people have been killed, students and adults.
More than 60 people are dead.
When terror struck, hundreds fled.
700 COVID-related deaths.
23,000 Americans who have died.
COVID deaths has surged to at least 32,000.
There have also been a number of attacks, some of them deadly, on police officers.
With the nation on edge and in the middle of another night of protest.
Violent unrest, torched cars, broke windows, and looted businesses.
23 states have already called up the National Guard.
The new crisis, financial disaster.
COVID-19, 3,600 deaths.
Looting and property destruction.
Killers on the loose.
A string of killings.
Pain and
Hanged himself.
Deadly mass shooting.
shot and killed.
Have you heard the news today? Stories of bullies and beheadings and irrelevant celebrity weddings. Reports of deadly viruses spreading and images of constant tears shedding. These are the most important stories in 24-hour headlines that ultimately influence and desensitize our young minds. The reason our kids are so unhappy today is because tomorrow is what they're dreading. Then we have the nerve to question the direction that our society is heading? Have you heard the news today? The politicians who get the most press seem to be full of corruption and money, as well as contradiction and hypocrisy. The volume of present-day negativity is surely an invitation for the expectation of the current crisis to continue, resulting in a self-fulfilling prophecy. The news is not even news anymore. It's information packaged in the form of entertainment like a never-ending dramatized reality TV show. They seem to be more concerned with what they can make us feel as opposed to what they let us know. From AIDS to Ebola to the coronavirus, have you heard the news today? It seems as though they would rather terrify us than educate or inspire us. Have you heard the news today? How they publicize and advertise so many poisonous chemicals that will hurt me. Yet the sensationalized glamorization of the next millionaire celebrity's rehabilitation is somehow newsworthy? Have you heard the news today? The hate crimes on gays and the out-of-wedlock celebrity love child, but how much attention is paid to gay couples who want to adopt simply for the opportunity to love an unwanted child? Have you heard the news today? I mean, some people will believe that every single white cop is evil because of one too many high-profile cases of abuse, power, and racism. But did you hear about the black family whose house caught fire and the white police officer who gave his life to save them? Or all the abandoned, neglected black children who have been adopted and taken in by loving white folks to raise them? Have you heard the news today? The pervasive attitude of expectation and entitlement. But what about all the parents out there who teach their kids early on that no one owes you anything? And if you want something, you have to work for it so you can buy it. And you'll need a job, so I'll help you find it and apply for it. Have you heard the news today? They tell you public education is horrible and the school system is a failure while they broadcast blame and complaints. But what about all the amazing educators who are underpaid and underappreciated but still stay at work late? So why then all the in-depth reporting on wars, infidelity, murder, and hating? Well, it's a fairly simple equation. See, negative emotions like fear, anger, and sadness equal higher ratings. So regardless of the content, morals and integrity get sacrificed if it's a real good story to do. But here's a simple request for the news crew. How about a feel-good story or two? See, advertising feeds off of our internal instinct to seek pleasure and be pain-free, while the media uses these same instincts to catch our attention and dictate what they determine to be must-see TV. Rather than look forward, it looks more like where we're headed is something for my unborn child not to see, and more like this world is somewhere for them not to be. Have you heard the news today? Watch it for too long and the content will leave you beyond anxiously annoyed. It's enough to make a Buddhist monk paranoid. I mean, my thoughts are a mess. I wish I could talk to Sigmund Freud because the news is broadcasting negativity that I can't seem to avoid to the point that it feels like a metaphorical knee on my neck till I can't breathe like George Floyd. Have you heard the news today? Watching my city and racial relationships get destroyed to the point that the National Guard gets deployed. You say, what's driving all this anger, violence, and rage? Well, I got an idea of what it might be. How about the media streaming unfiltered hate into the world's consciousness on a 24/7 loop that's corrupting our psyche? Never mind the actual message and the peaceful protest. Nah, they'd rather glorify riots and highlight the civil unrest. An obvious bias showing you only images that serve their ratings and political interest. Forget the actual news. They'll show you whatever it takes to get you to tune in and invest. Have you heard the news today? Identity politics is dividing us. This fact can't be ignored, although they don't even hide it. You're being reduced to a demographical statistic based on a simple description, and you don't even realize it. Depending on how you're labeled, you're either a victim or a fascist, a Marxist or a racist, but I'm a human being, and you are too. Why the fuck do we have to label it? Stalin, Mao, Hitler, Castro, history has proven that extremes in either direction, left or right, end with genocide, but the media won't emphasize that part of the past, though. Judging by the headlines, the way it looks to me is our standards have never been lower when it comes to social decency. When it comes to physical appearance, personal preferences, or religious differences between you and me, we still treat each other so differently. We just can't seem to find a way to care for and respect, let alone tolerate each other as human beings equally and unconditionally. But have you heard the news today? Regardless of all the reported negativity and hating, there are schools full of special education students and underprivileged foster kids successfully graduating. Have you heard the news today? Another well-publicized, all-too-accepted problem is teenage pregnancy from misguided kids dating. But have you heard the news today about all the responsible teenage couples that aren't married yet? So they don't have children because family unity matters, so they're actually waiting? Where are the stories like this? See, being 16 and pregnant doesn't make you very special or unique. How about we do more shows like 16 with a college degree? See, these kids know about TMZ before they learn their ABCs. That's pathetic. But let me be clear, all of this only happens because we collectively let it. Not just as parents, but as a society of people. See, if we really want to make a difference together, then the responsibility is equal. So I'm talking to the news when I say that responsibility should include you too. The positive influence you can have on humanity only depends on how far you are willing to take it. But have you heard the news today? If so, let me know if this message makes it.